All right, folks, good morning. Look, right now in 111 at this point, what we're doing is we're heading towards the close of the semester. We're heading towards the close of Unit 7. It closes up, I believe that's on Monday, the 11th at this particular point. What's interesting at this juncture is, look, the very last piece of the Legend and Artifact project is due. And honestly, between the online class and my CD class, I've had folks a little freaked out about this. Number one, don't be freaked out. Here's the thing: what you have done all along this semester is craft your own legend, and of course, it's about tapping into another culture that we've studied, another people, another time, another period. And I welcomed you to go ahead and tap into their culture and borrow one of their heroes or one of the villains and build another story on, because they're always adding to the stories of these heroes along the way, and so there's always another adventure to be told. And the thing is these adventures, these legends, these stories are often about teaching, because they're teaching elements along the way. And so what I want you to do is make sure, number one, that you put the effort into creating a good artifact. You don't want to show me or the other people, if we show it, something store bought. You want to show them something that you put some time and effort into. And again, it can't be brand new. It's an artifact. Artifacts aren't brand new, especially when they come from legends along the way. So one of the things we're going to want is obviously you to show the artifact. And number two, tell us how you came across this artifact. How do you have this fabulous piece of forgotten history? And then use it and tell us about the legend itself and spin a tale. Now, look, as far as history teachers go, look around my office a little bit. You can see, I'm a little bit unusual, to put it politely. At that point, some of you that know me better might go beyond, no, dude, you are more than unusual. Um, I hate it when people just drone on and 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 on in one monotonous voice. So very often when I teach, it's about how you deliver the material, how you tie it into other things, how you express it. So when you tell your tale, don't just tell it, okay? Don't just relay what happened, but go ahead and spin a yarn, spin a tall tale. Let us know how it's legendary and put it together. And remember, you're the only one. You made up this story, so you're the only one that truly knows what it is. So what I'm going to encourage you to do before you actually get on camera for your final take is go ahead and do what I do whenever I'm going to teach a lesson, whenever I'm going to record something, is go ahead and do a test run. And sometimes it's two or three times along the way, so you get comfortable telling the tale, and keep in mind that it's going to evolve as you go through, which is fine. But have confidence, have panache, have style in how you go about it. And one of the ways is how you produce the artifact. So what I'm going to do is borrow an artifact that another student bought in this year. And, he explained that, look, he had to put on some surgical gloves before he got it out. He said, look, I can't handle this. What this is the skull of invisibility from one of the forgotten legends of Perseus. And so what he did is he put on a pair of hospital gloves and went ahead and dug out this artifact right here. And he says, look, I have to apologize because, it's dirty, it's filthy, it's disgusting, because we found it in an old cave at the back of my property out on the edge of the country, that it was covered by some really nasty cobwebs and spiders and things. And if you look at it, look, the effort has been put into it to make it truly disgusting. Okay, but also there's a bit of glitz. Anytime you can get purple glitter involved, I'm on board. And then what he did is explain that one of the forgotten legends of Perseus was how he slayed one of the Titans, and the Titan was attacking the countryside. And of course, Perseus wanted to get married, and he wanted to marry the fabulous princess. And of course, the king says, look, the only way that's going to happen, bud, is if you can relieve us of this burden, if you can go ahead and slay this terrible titan who is waylaying my countryside. Then I'll consider it. Well, look, Perseus is he's a bit of a demigod, yeah, but he's also mostly human. And he's got limitations. And so what he does is he appeals to the fates. He goes to the temple of Athena and he talks to the priestess. And she said, look, what you need to do is you need to seek out. You need to seek out the temple of shadows, because deep within the temple of shadows, you're going to have to overcome many trials and tribulations. You're going to have to overcome and achieve many great deeds. But once you make it through the temple of shadows, you will find there the skull of a master thief. The skull of the master thief, because what he did was he was at point even invisible to the gods. I mean, many of you have heard of the story of Percy Jackson and the lightning thief. Well, look, this is the skull of the original lightning thief. And so he actually stole Zeus's thunderbolt at one time. And of course, he's going to pay for it with his life eventually. But then what happens is his skull retains his skill. His skull magically retains his ability. So whoever is in contact with it, literally holding it, you're invisible. You are silent. You are stealth, in human form. And what happens is Perseus says, look, if I get this skull, if I overcome the trials and tribulations, if I face the terrors of this temple of shadows, then I can grasp the skull. I can take it for myself. I can sneak up on this titan, because if he could sneak up on the gods and steal the thunderbolt of Zeus, then I can certainly sneak up behind this titan and I can waylay him. That I can sneak up behind it and hamstring him and bring him to the ground, and then I can slit his throat and I can claim my prize, the beautiful princess. And so he takes the skull with him, because he goes through those trials, he goes through those terrors, he goes through those tribulations, and he grasps the skull and then uses it to accomplish the deed. And of course, I mean, this is one of the lost tales of Perseus, so very few people know about this. But this student was lucky enough to come across the skull and able to research the legend from what he found. So, look, I've borrowed the artifact of a student. I showed you about it. I told the tale. And you have to admit, sometimes it's in how you tell the tale that you got to be stirring about it. So, do me and you a favor, because I'm going to look at all these videos, right? And so far, I've really had lots of fun listening to people tell them in the class. Well, most of the time. Sometimes I think it's the first time people have actually heard the tale they're telling, much less told it before. Practice telling it. Be aware that it's going to fluctuate. Be aware that you're not going to be perfect. I made a couple of hiccups as I'm talking here, but do it with a sense of style and panache, and then go ahead and tell us the tale. Do that on camera. You've got the submission link already built in the Moodle, and do it before due date time on Monday, and go ahead and get it turned in. Remember, the artifact, we've got to be able to see it, right? And you've got to tell us, how you came by it so we can see it and then use it as the tool to tell the tale. And this is a major chunk of part of the artifact project grade. So make sure that I can see the artifact well, and then make sure that you spin a tale. All right, folks, thank you very much. And don't forget to get stuff turned in on time.